It began in Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room and became one of the most powerful tech companies in the world. The history is well known, but to understand it fully is to understand the way Facebook has changed the way we share information. We keep in contact, and these days more and more get the news. At the same time, it's also sparked concerns over user privacy and data collection. The social media giant turns 15 today. So, we gave Facebook its own year in review. So with all that in mind, I want you to get your iPhones, please, and cnn.com/join. Now, think carefully. Think back to the first time you used Facebook. Tonight, we're asking you, how much are you using Facebook compared to when you started? cnn.com/join. Are you using it more? Using it yet less? Roughly about the same. Or have you abandoned it altogether? cnn.com/join. And you'll see the results. You'll see how you're affecting the results. You can only vote once, by the way. It's a question that Laurie Siegel, I'm sure, gets asked all the time, joining me now. This question of Facebook and its relationship. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, Facebook's 15.
Facebook's 15, and there are a lot of complicated questions that come along with Facebook at 15. I think, is what's good for business good for society, and what is the cost of connecting the world? But, Richard, to answer all of these complicated questions, you have to look at Mark Zuckerberg. And I had the opportunity to speak to Mark Zuckerberg's sister, Randy, and she talked quite a bit about what it was like growing up at the Zuckerberg home, and also she responded to the criticism that Facebook's getting. Take a listen.
Mark, he was always talented at a lot of things. I think he really developed a passion for computers and for writing code really early on. He always was building games and building little things and testing things out. So, you could definitely tell really early on that he was definitely going to be some kind of a creative, inventing genius. One of the funniest memories that I have with Mark and I growing up is our mom was really nervous about Y2K. Everyone thought that the world was going to end and computers were going to somehow explode. And so at the countdown to New Year's Eve that year, we snuck into the back of the house and cut the circuit breaker at midnight, which is so mean, but so awesome. And we were super grounded.
How do you feel as his sister, as someone who cares deeply about technology, about people genuinely questioning the impact of his creation and whether it's good for humanity?
He has always just been an incredible trailblazer of pushing the boundaries, of what he sees, where he sees the world should go. And, he has pushed a lot of us to think of the world in a bigger, more connected way than we ever thought it would be. And, he has never been fazed by what other people think of him. I have to say thank goodness for that, because I think if he was the kind of person who cared, how other people reacted, we wouldn't even have half of the amazing contributions that Facebook has made to the world. So, for better or worse, Mark is not the kind of person who is swayed by what you or I or anyone thinks of him. And because of that, I think we're going to get a lot more amazing things out of him in the years to come.
Laurie, you've met Mark Zuckerberg on more than a few occasions. What sort of person is he? Is he the sort of person who you hope is going to pop around for dinner?
Oh, what a question. Yeah, but they're going to be it's going to be an interesting dinner table conversation, I would say, if he's there. He's very analytical. From spending a little bit of time in his orbit, I think he's very calculated and he's very analytical. And I think part of why he's trying to get out of his own filter bubble and talk a little bit more publicly is a lot of these issues aren't really ones and zero issues that Facebook is facing.
Does he recognize now his greater responsibility? If you look at the sharing economy has spent a lot of time whether it be Uber, Airbnb, all of them, telling us, no, we're not really a hospitality. No, we're not really a car company. We're just a sharing economy. We're just a peer-to-peer. Does he recognise that that no longer holds water?
I think not only Mark Zuckerberg and the whole tech community after the last couple of years are no longer allowed to say what you were just talking about, are allowed to say we're just the pipes. And I've heard Mark Zuckerberg say this. I remember listening to it and thinking this is a very big deal. He said it in his congressional testimony. He said we are responsible for the content on our platform. Tech founders, for as long as I've been covering technology, which is a good amount of time, have really kind of shied away from that. And now is this new, this new admission. And I think what Facebook's trying to do and one of their biggest challenges will be bursting their own filter bubble and trying to get outside help in this.
Are you surprised? Look at the results. So let's not take individually. Let's aggregate less and not at all. 40, 50, 77% of people who are voting purely on our survey say that they are using it less or not at all. So diminishing usage is by far and away the winning answer.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I'll tell you this, I think Mark Zuckerberg was very smart. And when you talk about foresight and seeing ahead, maybe he didn't see ahead and some of these bad issues have happened, but he did see ahead in that he bought Instagram and he bought WhatsApp. And these are, and these are products that are growing.
I still question whether they will ever make the 21 billion they spent. Anyway, that's an issue for another day.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you as always.